study, a preview and a panel discussion. My name is Neil Brown, Chief Operating Officer of the Operations Council. And before we get going, I'd like to cover some brief housekeeping. First, I'll introduce our expert and panelists, and we'll get right to the study results. Second, we'll have a couple of polling questions, this to get audience input, and then also to allow you as an audience to benchmark your peers. Next, we'll have audience Q&A, so please use your GoToWebinar control panel to ask a question, and we'll get to as many as possible before the top of the hour. And then finally, links to this panel video archive will be available to all attendees via email in the next 24 hours. And the study report will be emailed to all attendees in the next week or so. So we're thinking about it. It's about 7 days out. So with that, I'm very pleased to introduce our expert and panelists, Billy Lawder, CEO of Peloton Consulting LLC, a operations and executive consulting firm that also provides fractional COO services. Prior roles for Lawder included Chief Operating Officer at Peak Technologies and different operations roles at Home Depot, Simmons Bedding, and Anheuser-Busch. Billy earned a Bachelor of Industrial and Systems Engineering from Georgia Tech and an MBA from Kennesaw State with a PMP and Six Sigma Black Belt certifications. Billy, welcome.
Thank you so much, Neil. It's great to be on this webinar today. I look forward to chatting with you.
Great, thank you. All right, so just a overview then. The objective of the study was to identify how COOs and operations executives are managing operations talent, along with such challenges as talent and skill shortages, hybrid and remote work environments, and rapidly changing macroeconomic environments, and even more. A national survey was conducted from June through August of this year with more than 200 respondents participating across North America. So with that, before we get started on our panel, let us go to our first polling question. This again to get some input from you attendees. What are your hiring plans for operations staff in the next 12 months? Select one of the following. So this is super easy, multiple choice. Will you increase staff, decrease, or maintain staff? So give you a few seconds to answer that. And then we'll be able to look at what the survey says. Compare those. Please take a few more seconds. I'm watching the percentage voting, and then we'll close it out and take a look. Okay, so let's take a quick look. We plan to increase 17%, 0% planning to decrease operations staff, and a huge majority maintaining 83%. So we'll keep those numbers in mind and then move on to the first survey question. And that is, what are your organization's plans for hiring in the next 12 months? And by the way, we can go on video at this point. Okay, So this was the survey results. Only 5% plan to decrease hiring. This was in comparison to 6% in 2023. 48% plan to maintain, so much less than our attendee survey here today, but it was the same as 2023. And 46% intend to increase hiring versus 47% in 2023. So very similar results for 2024 versus 2023. Billy, what are your thoughts regarding hiring in this type of environment, this election year and all that?
Yeah, great question. As I saw the results, I would say even a little bit surprising here, Neil, and a couple of thoughts to add. What you hear really everywhere, AI, especially in operations. What I've seen in my experience is there's a lot of talk and maybe a little bit of experimentation, but still a pretty low value to investment potential so far, meaning that companies are still trying to figure out, while it's amazing to go get a paragraph on ChatGPT, for example, it's harder to replicate an actual job with those tools unless you put some investment into it and understand what you're going to get back out. And so on that front, I think there's room across the board. I really haven't seen much of any real implementation as much as I've been looking. And I think from a coaching and a guidance standpoint is don't try to build a rocket ship to Mars, but where are those opportunities, whether they're customer service reps that are just doing the same copy and paste, that you can redeploy those hours elsewhere and maybe and mitigate some of those increases. The other real piece to call out here is, and I heard an interview from the FedEx CEO that kind of summed it up well, is if you think about the concept of the bullwhip effect, if you're an IE background, you got to suffer through this one, or if you've ever played the penny game, where essentially you've got all the different pieces and parts looking at ordering and fulfillment. And if I'm like, hey, Neil, I need 5, I need 5, I need 5, I need 50, I need 50, I need 2, I need 3, all of a sudden down the line, it's going to get really messed up. And so what the FedEx CEO pretty much said is, look, we've all been through the COVID down, the COVID up, the COVID boom, the COVID bust afterwards, supply chain, the same type of thing. But if you take out all 4 of those, the last 4 years, and you just kind of say, we're going to go from before to after, we're still up 5 to 6% CAGR. And that's, we're seeing a lot of the whip effects, but we're not seeing so much of the overall downturn that we seem to be seeing if you zoom in a little bit. So I think lots of spots that maybe decreased over the last year that had increased the previous year, maybe feeding into some of that increased plan for this year as the market starts to come back up to normal.
Really interesting insight. And yeah, we're in I think a lot of people are on the sidelines saying this election is going to be divisive and let's wait and see how it shakes out. And we just had an interest rate reduction for the first time in years, the other just last week. So that could be impinging on hiring plans as well.
For sure. I mean, a lot of operations is CapEx driven, right? You've got warehouses, you've got fleets. So all the interest rates tied to those and those coming back down starts to open up the money pockets a little bit to reinvest there.
Let's move on to our second and last polling question. And this is that very interesting topic of work environments. This is obviously work environments have changed dramatically during the pandemic and post-pandemic. So where are we now? What are your plans for select one of the following in this second and last poll? Hybrid combination of onsite and remote, 100% onsite, or 100% remote. So please select one of the following. Let's see where this goes. Take a few more seconds. And then we'll dive into our survey, our national survey results, and compare that. Okay, so we won't take too much longer on that. Let's share the results. Hybrid, 86%, a huge majority. 0%, 100% on-site, and 14%, 100% remote. So